I didn't block her. I didn't send a final text or post some cryptic quote on social media. I didn't scream or slam a door on my way out. I just left. Not out of anger. Not out of spite. But because my soul was exhausted. Tired of trying to hold on to someone who had long since let go of me. And when you reach that point, you stop chasing closure. You start searching for peace. So that's what I chose. Peace over pain. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I finally started loving myself. Because sometimes love isn't enough to survive when it's only coming from one direction. For a long time, I convinced myself she had replaced me. That she moved on with barely a second thought. That I was just another phase in her story she'd already outgrown. But then, one rainy night, long after I'd convinced myself she was just a ghost in my past, I opened the door and found her standing there. Soaked, silent, and holding a small box filled with everything I thought she'd thrown away. We were never some whirlwind romance. We were slow, steady, comfortable in a way that made life feel safe. Late-night conversations at 2 a.m. Grocery runs where she always remembered my favorite cereal. She knew me, really knew me. My fears, my scars, the way I held my breath when I was on the verge of breaking. And still, somehow it wasn't enough. Didn't happen all at once. She drifted away in silence. First emotionally, then physically. The texts got shorter, the calls less frequent. Until it felt like I was the only one trying to hold together a relationship meant for two. I asked her once gently, "What changed?" She just shrugged and said, "I don't know." And maybe that's what cuts the deepest. Not a fight, not a betrayal, not even a confession, but indifference. Apathy. So I let go. I didn't beg. Didn't plead. Didn't ask for one more try. 'Cause I'd already tried. And I couldn't keep handing over pieces of myself just to receive crumbs in return. Packed my things. Left the key on the counter. And with every step away from her, the pain that once gripped me so tightly began to loosen. I told myself that peace, even if it was lonely, was still better than feeling alone next to someone who used to love me. In the weeks that followed, I tried to rebuild. Quiet mornings. Books I never had time for. Long walks without having to explain where I was going. But here's the thing no one tells you. Peace isn't instant. It's a choice. Hard one. One you have to make again and again, every time your heart misses what once hurt it. And yeah, I thought of her. Wondered if she found someone else. If he got the version of her I could never quite reach. But I told myself it didn't matter. She made her choice. And I made mine. Then one night everything shifted. The rain was soft, tapping on my window as I made tea. Something I'd started doing to fill the silence. A knock. Not loud. Not frantic. Just there. I opened the door, expecting a neighbor or a missed delivery. Instead there she was. Soaked to the bone. Eyes red. Mouth trembling like every word she needed to say was stuck behind a wall of regret. She didn't speak, just held out a box. Inside were fragments of our story. A crumpled concert ticket. A note I'd written for her birthday. A photo of us. Laughing, the kind of laugh you can't fake. "I didn't come to ask for anything," she said, voice shaking. "I just didn't know where else to go." I stepped aside. She walked in like a stranger entering a home she used to know. We sat in silence for what felt like hours. Then finally she whispered, "I didn't replace you." I met her eyes. "I thought you did." She shook her head slowly. "I tried," she admitted. "I tried to forget, to fill the space you left. But nothing worked. No one felt like home." Her voice cracked. "I didn't realize how loud it was without you. Until you were really gone." I looked at her, really looked. Not the version I had built in my mind after I left. Not the villain. Not the stranger. Just her. Regretful. Real. "I hurt you," she said. "Not with what I did, but with what I stopped doing. I stopped showing up. I stopped trying. And by the time I realized what I'd done, you were already gone." Tears filled her eyes. "I don't blame you. I wouldn't have stayed either." She reached into her jacket and pulled out a letter. "I wrote this the night you left," she said, placing it on the table. But I couldn't send it. I didn't think I deserved to. He stood. I don't expect you to forgive me, she whispered. I just needed you to know. I never stopped loving you. I just forgot how to show it. I didn't speak. Not because I didn't feel anything, but because I felt everything. There was no music swelling, no cinematic kiss, just silence, thick with the weight of what had been lost and the fragile hope of what might still remain. She turned to leave. I'll go, she said softly. I'm sorry. At the door she paused. Even if you never speak to me again. Thank you for choosing peace. It reminded me of what I lost when I stopped choosing us. Then she left. I didn't chase her. Not because I didn't care, but because some moments aren't meant to be resolved right away. Some moments are meant to sit in your chest for a while until you know what to do with them. Hours later I read the letter. Every word reopened wounds I thought had healed. She wrote about fear, about self-sabotage, about the guilt of being loved so deeply and not knowing how to return it. And at the very end she wrote, if peace is what you've found, I hope I never disturb it again. But if there's even a small part of you that still remembers what we had, I'll be waiting, not to fix everything, just to be real this time. And here's the truth. I don't know what comes next. I don't know if love and peace can truly live in the same space. I don't know if I'll ever open that door again. But I know this. Sometimes the people who break you come back carrying the pieces they didn't realize they left behind. And it's up to you to decide. Will picking them back up help you heal? Or only hurt you all over again? If this story found you in a quiet moment, drop a comment, share it, and tell me, have you ever chosen peace over pain? And if the one who left came back with everything you thought they forgot, would you let them in? 'Cause sometimes, love doesn't end, just gets quiet, until it finally finds the courage to speak again.